All right, I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works on this Tuesday, September 15th of 2020. First up, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board this evening?
I do. Again, I want to thank everyone for keeping the city so clean, and also there seems to be an increase in COVID cases in Bloomington, so everybody stay safe.
Thank you. Any other messages from the board? Next, we have petitions and remonstrances. If anyone is here to make a public comment about something that is not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. Do we have any public comment about anything not on the agenda?
I do not see any raised hands or any messages in the chat function.
Thank you. Seeing no public comment, we will move on. We don't have any Title VI enforcement this evening, so we will move to the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda is the approval of minutes for September 1st of 2020, approved 2020 blanket noise permit for Parks and Recreation, approved service agreement between City of Bloomington Street Division and Precision Concrete for repairing sidewalks, and approval of the payroll register. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none. Is there any public comment on anything within the consent agenda?
I do not see anything.
Seeing none. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Next, we have new business. First under new business is resolution 2020-47, approve order to vacate structure at 1306 West Kirkwood.
Yep, Mike Arnold, City of Bloomington, Housing and Neighborhood Development. This is a property you've seen before. We did an order to seal on this property. There's been additional concerns and problems with this property with vagrants and homeless and other unauthorized people in the house. So we have done a request for an order to vacate on the property so we can get it vacant so that we can move forward with sealing the structure. Currently, as far as the order to seal is concerned, we've done notice by publication today, and it'll go again tomorrow as required. And then once that's done, we can move forward with sealing the property, but we want to make sure it's vacated as well. We've also done on this property order to remove public health hazard. Because of the way people have been living in the house, there's some public health issues that warranted the health department going out to the property and doing an evaluation and sending in their own order for a cleanup and repair. And then we did ours just to back that up. But tonight we're requesting that you uphold the order to vacate the property.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
No, I don't have any questions.
We had talked during the work session about the state of the property and the fact that, you mentioned public health concerns about the safety of the structure in general, and the fact that there's not an owner who is actively caring for the property. Is that correct?
That's correct. As I understand it, there is a lawsuit on this property that the city is involved with in regards to actual ownership of the property.
Yeah, and I'm happy to jump in and answer that. There's two legal issues going on with the property. And this is Daniel Dixon with the legal department. The first one is the city does have a foreclosure action pending against this particular property as it relates to the owner. The original owner is deceased, and the individual who's currently on the title has allegedly fraudulently conveyed the property to themselves. In addition to the city's foreclosure action with these claims, there's a separate criminal case pending against that individual. So that's basically what we have going on right now. The foreclosure has been stalled out due to the governor's orders. So that's still kind of just going on and progressing, but in the meantime, we've got these problems we got to take care of.
Thank you. Any public comment on this item?
Not seeing anything in the public chat. I don't see anything via the Public Works email. We did just have one new, I think, member of the public, Jack Schmidt, join the meeting. I'm not sure if Jack had any public comment on the 1206 West Kirkwood or not.
Just got on board, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Jack. All right.
With no public comment, is there a motion from the board?
I move that we approve resolution 2020-47, the order to vacate structure at 1306 West Kirkwood.
I just want to make sure, so we're approving the order to vacate, not upholding the order to remove?
Right. This is order to vacate. It has a current order to seal and a current order to remove public health hazard.
Okay.
There is no order to remove.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for clarifying that. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next, we have approved renewal number 1 to agreement with Republic Services for municipal solid waste disposal and single source recycling.
Yeah, hi there. This is Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. We brought this to the board's attention back in June as part of a staff report. There's been nothing but uncertainty with the recycling markets and with solid waste disposal. So we're in a good place with our contract currently with Republic Services. It extends through next year. And for our single stream recycling processing is the particular reason that we're looking to renew this for an additional 2 years. We're seeing paying almost double what we are currently for single stream, and sometimes even more than double. So what this does is this would lock us in with a rate that at no more than $27.19 for single stream recycling processing for 2022 and 2023. Again, the reason this came to the board is there is an expected 3% increase to our current rate for recycling process that would go into effect in 2022. So that's why we need the board to hear this new contract renewal, or this contract renewal, not new contract. But overall, we've been satisfied with service. We've been visiting the recycling processing facility in Indianapolis, seeing how that all works. It's pretty amazing. The other thing I do want to note here is, with all of our contracts, this doesn't preclude us if there were other options to come about for recycling process to do proper notice and enter into other contracts. Right now, there are very few options for recycling processing, especially with trying to transfer it from Bloomington to other facilities. So we're asking for the board's support in this, and this would take us through 2022 and through 23 at rates that we find to be more than acceptable right now.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
The only question I had was that I noticed, like, on the original contract, it said that it could be renewed through 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Through 24. Is there a reason we're stopping a year early?
In all honesty, we've tried not to extend these types of contracts beyond election cycles. So to just that's kind of a common standard practice in all my years in city government. And so it doesn't preclude us in the future if, we're seeing things to say that, really are indicating that we would want to, go ahead and do that right away. We can certainly do that. And again, this as is standard language in all of our city contracts, we've got quite a few options for opting out or, if that were to need to be the case. So.
Okay, thank you.
And I will speak to, I know we talked in the work session yesterday about probably preempt Kyla's question here, or Kyla asked us to just kind of address, what we're doing with addresses where we're having issues, or what we're doing to communicate community with recycling. Anymore, a lot of our communications are through social media, working with the mayor's office and others. And then outside of that, it's a lot of direct, and we've worked with local media outlets to get information about, changes to our recycling system to residents. We put notes in the utility bills. But the biggest thing I want to point out is that a lot of our communication with our problem addresses are direct communications, whether through leaving notices on the recycling bins to say, here's why we're not picking up, or here's what you're doing wrong. That can include knocks on doors. We do a lot of different things where we're, just knocking on doors and saying, hey, I can tell you Adam in a yellow vest has knocked on lots of yellow doors, especially around 8th and Washington. So, we do a lot of that direct type outreach and such. One of the things that we're looking and working on right now is another clean recycling campaign. We're still seeing recycling contamination levels higher than we want. And so what we're trying to do, we got more people at home. So we're working on some communications there to really hit folks directly with information. It's expensive to do mailers. It's expensive to do bill inserts, but we're trying to figure out some creative ways to get that information to folks.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, it's probably a good opportunity, as we do these renewals, just to remember that it's very costly to the city to have contaminated waste. And so if it's a recyclable that you're not really sure can be recycled, if you've, checked the website, or maybe it's just extra hard to clean, it probably does have to go into the trash, unfortunately. I know we all want to recycle as much as we can, but it's important to just pay attention to what things are recyclable and what things aren't.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean, dry recycling is the biggest. And the other part too is as you alluded to, it's kind of that wish recycling, that wish cycling. I wish this was recyclable. Styrofoam no longer recyclable, plastic bags no longer recyclable, and that's why we had to do the change to the graphic on the lids of the carts. If I looked back 3 years ago when we changed over the program, I don't think we would have ever put a graphic on it that said, here's what's acceptable and here's what's not, because that's changed so much. And not so much, but any change is then inaccurate information on the carts. So we're all, that's the other part of this as well.
And I would just note too that is, not just a local issue. That's a national, international issue. So the recycling market is a hugely volatile situation right now, with materials that we used to ship off for processing that may or may not have been, processed the way we would have preferred. And now it's becoming to the point where there's not even a market for some of those materials, right?
I have dreams about what could happen with our local recycled commodities like asphalt and, manufacturing here locally. And, I can tell you Hoosier's more than willing to work with us on getting materials back in our hands. Pre-COVID, we were having some really interesting conversations with the BEDC and the trades district folks about, innovative ways to use recycled commodities. The old saying of reduce, reuse, or recycle, reuse. You hate to put a recyclable into an end use, but at the same time, with the markets like they are now, it's better that than ending up in a landfill. So, lots of interesting things that can happen there. I know with our recover forward discussions with our innovation district, discussions with the trades district and the mill and all of those folks. There's interest there. It's trying to harness that energy in this COVID environment.
Well, thanks for the update on recycling and waste disposal in general as we take a look at this. Any other questions from the board on this contract?
Yes, I just, Adam, since you have these new barrels, has it reduced the number of injuries to workers? I know a few years ago we had a situation in our neighborhood and someone just deliberately packed the barrels so heavy that they couldn't be lifted without injuring someone. So I just wondered if that has changed or you're still having some complaints about
for the vast majority of the accounts in the households we serve, yes, it's been a huge improvement. Our injury numbers are down. Our workers' compensation numbers are down. The thing about workers' comp, one big injury can have a huge impact in SKU numbers and such, but we've had way less strains, way less sprains, things that were associated with the actual lifting. What I can say too, though, is with the carts, folks have tried to take advantage with really packing them full. I was just doing a staff meeting last Tuesday with staff, and they said, when we do a code update, it would be great if we could still do a weight limit. You get some folks, one of those 96-gallon containers, and you pack it with and a number of different things can make it very, very, very heavy. A normal trash can filled with just trash bags from, say, your kitchen trash can, that's not a worry to us. It's more of the debris, construction debris that gets packed into the bottom that we don't know is in there. It's the folks that pack in yard waste underneath the trash that's super heavy. And I can tell you, when you get to a 96-gallon and you need to move it and it's fully packed, it's still difficult. And we've had a few, in our worst case scenarios, we've had a few of those carts break because people have packed them so full of dense material. So to answer that.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's important to think about the safety of the workers because they work so hard all day in long hours, and this can be a real problem. So good, thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell you about when we did the sanitation modernization program, that was literally the number one reason for us to think about a more automated system. We knew that we were operating a 1950s system of lifting, and so I'm proud of the new system. It's still got its hiccups from time to time, but overall, very proud of the new system.
Good. Okay, I like it. Thank you.
Any other questions on this item? Are there any public comments on this item?
I saw a chat. I don't know if you saw that, Adam.
Yes, so Emily Ernstberger asked, are we seeing an increase in solid waste collection since more people are at home? If that's even possible to measure. Yes, we absolutely measure the tonnage per truck per day. We can tell you that March and April were I think 30 and 40% increases over last year. And we've reported some of that back to the City Council and others, the Board of Public Works. I've looked through. June and July tended to steady off a little bit more. I think there were still slight increases. I haven't seen August numbers yet, but yeah, the first few months of March, April, and into May, there were steep increases, which have a cost. We pay per ton, so there was a significant cost to that. Anecdotally, we did hear from commercial haulers that their tonnages were slightly down. So, if the restaurants aren't operating like they were and such. But yeah, we definitely saw a bit increase.
Any other public comment on this item?
I don't see any.
All right, seeing none, is there a motion from the board?
I move approval of renewal number 1 to agreement with Republic Services for municipal solid waste disposal and single source recycling.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
No major staff reports today. We've got several projects out to bid right now with our sidewalk recover forward dollars for sidewalk improvements. So we've got a $250,000 package of sidewalk rebuilding in the near west side that interested contractors should look to our city website for that information. We've got some smaller packages of sidewalk repairs specific to kind of single panel repairs due to sidewalk heaving from street trees. So lots of sidewalk work that's hit the ground. We've got our alley project that should kick off in the next several weeks on the north side of the square to fix all that pavement, put down fresh concrete. So lots going on still, busy into the paving season. And just say my thanks to all the staff in Public Works for all that they do each and every day.
Thank you.
Adam, do you have a report on the restaurants downtown behind the bollards? Are they having a good turnout for dinners and lunches?
I don't have any sales information. If
Okay.
sales information from a restaurateur is about as difficult of anything to obtain. But what I can tell you is they're very appreciative. I know that it's helping them. They've told us so. It's certainly helping. They're definitely a lot of restaurants still struggling though. Like I said, I wouldn't know any specific in terms of sales figures or anything else. We can see what the trends were from the food and beverage tax collections if you wanted to dig into that data, and it's definitely down. But I've got a lot of friends in the restaurant industry, a lot of folks that I've known for many, many years. I don't know if you know, Beth, I waited tables at Upland until just a few years ago.
Someone told me they'd met you there. So.
Yeah. But what I can say is that, we've got a lot of our restaurants hurting. They're struggling. It's hard enough to keep a restaurant open with 100% capacity. In terms of seating capacity, it's even harder when you're dealing with 50% capacity and all the struggles that, sanitary requirements, all the things that restaurants are going through right now. So this is my Adam Wason plug to the community. Go visit a local independent restaurant. Go visit a restaurant that is one of your favorites. Spend your dollars with them, and let's hope we get through this with as many local restaurants still in business as possible.
Yeah, I just wanted some encouragement for people to go downtown and eat. So good. Thank you, Ann.
All right. Next up is claims. Are there any questions on claims?
No, I have no questions.
Is there a motion from the board on claims?
I move approval of claims $1,384,436.31.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And if there is nothing else, then I will call for adjournment.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody, thank